Vladimir Putin has ordered the deployment of troops to the two breakaway regions in eastern Ukraine after recognizing them as independent, accelerating a crisis the West fears could unleash a major war. The Russian Federation being the current king of the North, as you can see pointed out in the Daniel 11 hypothesis on biblicalresearchlabs.com. And along with the rest of the Ezekiel 38 Confederacy, Russia will become part of the bear of Daniel chapter 7 at the woe of the fifth trumpet when the so-called New World Order emerges, having 7 heads, which are symbolic of 7 literal mountains, meaning the 7 continents of the planet Earth. But until then, the two warring factions of Kenites will continue to exalt themselves to establish the vision, meaning the vision of a one-world government, but they shall fall, as you can see in Daniel chapter 11 verse 14, and that word translated as fall in the Hebrew in this case means to fail, because there will be no one-world political system until Satan and his angels get cast to earth at the beginning of Daniel's 70th week, which was 7 years but is now 5 months. So far in February of 2022, we've seen Turkey and Armenia, which are most likely Gomer and Togarmah in Ezekiel chapter 38, discussing opening their borders. Turkey and Armenia approach turning point, being another article linked up on Mark13news.com, and also Tehran and Moscow on path towards strategic ties. Iran being Persia in Ezekiel 38, and on February 9th, 2022, Putin and Xi manifesto signals start of new era, and the latest Apocalypse Post newsletter contains an excerpt from the Putin-Xi manifesto, as it's called, that says, "Today the world is going through momentous changes and humanity is entering a new era of rapid development and profound transformation. It sees the development of such processes and phenomena as multipolarity, economic globalization, the advent of information society, cultural diversity, transformation of the global governance architecture, and world order. There is increasing interrelation and interdependence between the states. A trend has emerged towards redistribution of power in the world, and the international community is showing a growing demand for the leadership aiming at peaceful and gradual development. But what many people fail to realize is that behind the scenes of the governments of the world is a shadow government made up of 2 warring factions of Kenites, symbolized by the he-goat written of in Daniel chapter 8. On one side are the Kenites who, through Edom, which means red, are attempting to bring what they call a multipolar world order into being, while on the other side are the Kenites who operate through the left-right paradigm, symbolized by Ammon and Moab, who are attempting to perpetuate and improve upon the so-called unipolar world order. Nation shall rise against nation, meaning the Kenite nation rising up against itself up until the woe of the fifth trumpet, when the new world order, as it's called, comes into being. Linked up on Mark13news.com for February 12th is an article called AUKUS Caucus, Republicans and Democrats Find a Topic They Can Agree On. And again, the left-right paradigm is for the most part controlled by the Kenites on the unipolar end of the globalist spectrum, with AUKUS being the security pact between Australia, the United Kingdom, and the United States, which is a step in the direction of the lion of Daniel chapter 7 that will come into being at the woe of the fifth trumpet. And going back to Mark13news.com with articles like Russia closely monitoring Libyan situation and Armenia's support for Russian peacekeeping, we continue to see the Ezekiel 38 Confederacy formulate that again will become the bear of Daniel chapter 7 at the woe of the fifth trumpet, when Satan and his angels get cast to earth, which is also when the he-goat of Daniel chapter 8 becomes the leopard of Daniel chapter 7. And then after the deadly wound to the so-called New World Order, Satan will appear as the Antichrist at the woe of the sixth trumpet in Jerusalem. And that's when the 2.5 months or 70 evenings begin, the 70 years in captivity to the Babylon of old were a type of.